Greetings, citizens of Chima. This is the Eternian Jedi, or Pandor, with a new Chima video. So today on the Chi Markets, I will be attempting to explain why I think the bears are so sleepy in Chima. So at first glance, you'd think this isn't something really important because the drowsiness of the bears in the Chima series is one of the comedic aspects of the show, but I actually think there's more to it than just that. So I have a theory regarding the bears. I actually think that the reason that they're so sleepy is because of the failed illumination. As you guys probably know, the failed illumination brought about some unforeseen circumstances on Chima, such as the rising of Mount Kavora into the sky. That was not intended by the Phoenix. So in this video, I'm going to be going over three main things: the bear tribe, the failed illumination, and the ice bear tribe. And you guys will see that the three are actually linked. So I came up with this theory in part thanks to the conversations I had with both Fangar and Tumble. They helped me develop the theory a bit because at first the theory I had didn't make too much sense, but they gave me a few ideas. So that's allowed me to cobble up this theory for this video. So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy. So let's start off by analyzing the current bear tribe. The bear tribe as we are introduced to it in the first season of Chima. So all the members of this bear tribe are extremely sleepy. They're constantly drowsy. Even when they plug in chi, they're still sleepy. Even when they're, in the middle of a speedor race, they have a tendency to fall asleep. They fall asleep no matter the circumstance. But of course, as we see in the first episode, if you whisper quietly in their ear, you'll manage to wake them up. Now, here's the thing with the bears. They all share the same lucid dream, which kind of implies that there's like a collective consciousness going on with all the bears. And I think that this is actually the case not just for the brown bears, but also for the ice bears. All the bears, including the ice bears, share the same consciousness and the same lucid dreams. So how is this possible? We see this in a Chima webisode in which the ice bears are introduced. It plays out similarly to the show, although it adds a bit of lore to the bear tribe because we actually get to see the dream that the bears have. And in this dream, the ice bears actually start attacking the home of the bears, which proves that the ice bears are able to actually enter the same dream world as the brown bears. So this proves to me that they're actually the same tribe. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to do this. Now, they are the same tribe, but there are a few differences. The same way Liella is a member of the lion tribe, but she's from the ancient lion tribe, which dwindled and then kind of disappeared because of what happened with the tunnel cats. The lion tribe that we see in present-day Chima is the lion tribe that was born after the failed illumination, and I think something similar happened with the bears, or maybe there were remnants of the bears, and then the bears that drank from the sacred pool of chi when Mount Kavora rose was like the new generation of bears. But I think it's safe to assume at this point that the ice bears and brown bears are actually a part of the same tribe, or at the very least in ancient Chima, the bears that became the ice bears were initially just brown bears. We can see in the final episodes of Season 3 of Chima that the brown bears are just as powerful and just as mighty as the ice bears once they're awake. Honestly, they're able to rival the ice bears, and the ice bears are considered, just the most powerful tribe in Chima, just based off brute strength. So I think the bears and the ice bears are definitely, the same tribe. I think that is safe to assume. So what exactly do we know about the ice bears in Chima? Well, we know that even Sir Fangar, arguably the most ferocious villain and most tyrannical villain in Chima, was reluctant to free the ice bears. He waited until the last minute, near the end of the final battle of Chima. And that's when he decided to free the ice bears, but he was still very reluctant about it. Even Sir Fangar seemed worried about how powerful the ice bears were, which kind of implies to me that they must have really caused a lot of damage and ravaged ancient Chima back when the hunters initially revolted against their Phoenix overlords. So that really goes to show that the bear tribe, because if you look at the first season of Chima, the bear tribe seems to be the weakest, the most docile, most peaceful tribe, but it's actually the opposite. The bears are actually the most powerful tribe in Chima. It's just that because of the failed illumination, they aren't, and I'm going to get into that in a bit. But yeah, sadly, we don't see much of the ice bears in Chima, which is one of the biggest missed opportunities. Introducing the bears in the last 2 episodes, none of the bear characters are actually fleshed out. I mean, we get a lot of minifigures in the sets, but none of those named characters actually get, any real screen time in the show, which is really sad. But all we really see about the ice bears is that they're kind of the ancient foes of the brown bears. They kind of have history, it's kind of implied, and they're just extremely powerful. They go on their frenzy, they start destroying everything. But again, we see that this is also the case for Bladvik and his tribe. The brown bears are also kind of similar to the ice bears in that sense, except they're fighting, for good, for peace in Chima. So yeah, that's pretty much what we know about the ice bears. Again, there isn't too much when it comes to the ice bears, but as you guys will see with what I'm about to tell you, both of these tribes are actually the same, and I'm finally going to explain to you guys why the bears are so sleepy. So as you guys know, the first illumination was a failure, and the reason the first illumination was attempted by the Phoenix was because the hunters, or the groundborn as they were called by the disdainful Phoenix, were let into the ancient Phoenix city, and they kind of abused the trust that the Phoenix gave them. They started, specifically Sir Fangar, started, kind of looking into things he shouldn't have been learning about. He wanted to become more powerful. He sought out more hidden knowledge, and he ended up revolting against his teachers, along with some of the other ground-born tribes, such as the mammoths and vultures, and the rest of the saber-toothed tigers. But of course, I think we can also add to that the bear tribe. And back then, these bears would have just been probably just brown bears, or maybe they were like polar bears. I mean, we know in real life that polar bears are just bears that have adapted to the colder continent that they live in, or colder lands that they live in. So it's very possible that or maybe there was a mix of brown bears and kind of polar bears in there. But we know for a fact that the bears took part in the revolts against the Phoenix. And of course, the illumination was a failure because Fluminox chose to stay behind and look after his son, Flinx. Now, we don't know too much about how the illumination worked the first time, because there was a character that was supposed to be introduced in the cancelled 6-episode Quest for the Firewings plot with Florax, so Fluminox's wife. We don't know exactly what happened to her. I'm assuming she returned to the Mother Sun, even though the first illumination was unsuccessful. But nevertheless, when it comes to the bears, so like all the hunters, obviously they were frozen cryogenically in ice for like millennia. We don't really know exactly how long. But if the polar bears, I'm going to call them polar bears because they still weren't ice bears at that point, if these polar bears are actually the ancestors of the bears we see in present-day Chima, such as Bladvik, then that means that they are also linked to the same dream. And this would explain why the bears are so sleepy, because the ice bears, who are, of their kin, were frozen this whole time, and they were also sleeping, and that's why the bears don't have their full energy. But when the ice bears are freed, it's at that point that we see the brown bears, such as Bladvik, become awake all of a sudden. They're lively now. They're ready to fight again, because their brethren have been freed. They're awake now. Their whole tribe is awake. So basically, the way I view it is that the bears rely on every single member of their tribe to be awake in order, to actually function like the other tribes. But as soon as the ice bears are freed, we see that the bears are no longer sleepy. They no longer feel the need to, go back to their dream world, and all of a sudden they're just really lively. So yeah, this is kind of the way I view it. The brown bears are intrinsically linked to the polar bears or ice bears, and this is because they're part of the same tribe and they share the same collective consciousness, as I was going over earlier. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to cover it for this theory and this video. I certainly hope you enjoyed. Please do let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is there anything that you would change with this theory, or do you have a different take on it? I'm certainly interested to hear about that. I had a lot of fun putting this theory together. Again, thanks to Fangar and Tumble, I was able to fill in some of the blanks and get things to make a bit more sense. But yeah, I think there's definitely an argument for this, especially when you look at the fact that since the ice bears are frozen in the ice, and since they are in their eternal slumber, that's why the brown bears such as Bladvik are also sleepy. When you connect the dots, when you look at ancient Chima, when you look at how the failed illumination has affected Chima, it definitely makes sense, at least to me. But again, if you guys would change anything with this, or if you have your own theory, please let me know down in the comments below. But aside from that, thanks for watching, guys, and stay legendary.